One of the penalties for refusing to participate in politics is that you end up being governed by your inferiors. Music is a moral law. It gives soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and charm and gaiety to life and to everything. The first and greatest victory is to conquer yourself. To be conquered by yourself is of all things most shameful and vile. Democracy is a charming form of government, full of variety and disorder, and dispensing a sort of equality to equals and unequals alike. We can easily forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when men are afraid of the light. A hero is born among 100, a wise man is found among 1,000, but an accomplished one might not be found even among 100,000 men. Dictatorship naturally arises out of democracy, and the most aggravated form of tyranny and slavery out of the most extreme liberty. There will be no end to the troubles of states, or of humanity itself, till philosophers become kings in this world, or till those we now call kings and rulers really and truly become philosophers, and political power and philosophy thus come into the same hands. People are like dirt. They can either nourish you and help you grow as a person, or they can stunt your growth and make you wilt and die. Every heart sings a song, incomplete, until another heart whispers back. Those who wish to sing always find a song. At the touch of a lover, everyone becomes a poet. The man who makes everything that leads to happiness depends upon himself, and not upon other men, has adopted the very best plan for living happily. This is the man of moderation, the man of manly character and of wisdom. Justice in the life and conduct of the state is possible only as first it resides in the hearts and souls of the citizens. The punishment which the wise suffer who refuse to take part in the government is to live under the government of worse men. All men are by nature equal, made all of the same earth by one workman, and however we deceive ourselves, as dear unto God as the poor peasant is the mighty prince. To prefer evil to good is not in human nature, and when a man is compelled to choose one of two evils, no one will choose the greater when he might have the less. There's a victory, and defeat, the first and best of victories, the lowest and worst of defeats which each man gains or sustains at the hands not of another, but of himself. Ignorance of all things is an evil neither terrible nor excessive, nor yet the greatest of all. But great cleverness and much learning, if they be accompanied by a bad training, are a much greater misfortune. Apply yourself both now and in the next life. Without effort, you cannot be prosperous. Though the land be good, you cannot have an abundant crop without cultivation. The God of love lives in a state of need. It is a need. It is an urge. It is a homeostatic imbalance. Like hunger and thirst, it's almost impossible to stamp out. The rulers of the state are the only persons who ought to have the privilege of lying, either at home or abroad. They may be allowed to lie for the good of the state. He who is of calm and happy nature will hardly feel the pressure of age, but to him who is of an opposite disposition, youth and age are equally a burden. Entire ignorance is not so terrible or extreme an evil, and is far from being the greatest of all. Too much cleverness and too much learning, accompanied with ill bringing up, are far more fatal. How can you prove whether at this moment we are sleeping, and all our thoughts are a dream, or whether we are awake, and talking to one another in the waking state? I exhort you also to take part in the great combat, which is the combat of life, and greater than every other earthly conflict. When the tyrant has disposed of foreign enemies by conquest or treaty, and there is nothing more to fear from them, then he is always stirring up some war or other, in order that the people may require a leader. Excess generally causes reaction, and produces a change in the opposite direction, whether it be in the seasons, or in individuals, or in governments. Nothing can be more absurd than the practice that prevails in our country of men and women not following the same pursuits with all their strengths and with one mind, for thus, the state instead of being whole is reduced to half. All things will be produced in superior quantity and quality, and with greater ease, when each man works at a single occupation, in accordance with his natural gifts, and at the right moment, without meddling with anything else. For the introduction of a new kind of music must be shunned as imperiling the whole state, since styles of music are never disturbed without affecting the most important political institutions. Those who intend on becoming great should love neither themselves nor their own things, but only what is just, whether it happens to be done by themselves or others. The curse of me and my nation is that we always think things can be bettered by immediate action of some sort, any sort rather than no sort. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.